Oh, wait, did y'all hear that live? Oh, what's up, guys? You didn't hear that live. Thank goodness. I said basically kick all the tree guys to Lucas. He's here. Hi. Sorry. We're still getting things set up and ready to rock and roll. I got to change this camera situation because it looks like I'm in a 1990s film right now. That's not good.
Could be how you dress too.
What's that? Could be how I dress. Yeah, probably. Are you saying I'm irrelevant and outdated? Because I agree. I'm getting old, man. I do not care.
Backwards. It's either gonna pull the Sylvester Stallone 5-finger over the top arm wrestle move, or likes to skateboard.
Right. I don't qualify for Sylvester Stallone activities, but what is up, you beautiful treeple?
Arm wrestling one was the truck driver.
No, I do know about Stretch Armstrong though. I was really into Stretch Armstrong as a kid. I had all the Stretch Armstrongs. And with that, we are live, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. What's up? I'm Matt Latham, board certified master arborist, and wherever it is there somewhere. And it's like opposite. I don't know how this works. And Aslk, registered consulting arborist. And we are here. What's up, Sprout? Glad to have you here. We got a few people joining in, and we're talking trees today. Hey, I'm so glad you're part of this group. If you're here, it's probably because you're part of our Ask an Arborist group. And y'all, we're just so honored that y'all would choose to be here hanging out with me on a Tuesday afternoon. And check it out, guys. We are growing like crazy. This is absolutely wild. 3,628 people. And that is really mostly in the past like 4 months-ish. Give or take. We started out slow. Oh man, me too, bro. Me too. Long weekend. Tell me about it. It looks like you made a video, man. I think I saw it with your Chinese Siberian elm down on the ground. It was Chinese or Siberian, not both. But I saw you, as in it was busy. Good. Keeps you out of trouble, dude, especially in high school, man. Nah, you got a pretty good head on your shoulder. I'm not worried about you actually, but all those other high school punks, yeah, they're game over. This is why we homeschool, is because somebody's going to indoctrinate my kids. May as well be me because I actually care. So anyways, with that, let's get right into it. We are at 3,628 members. Let's check this out, y'all. Almost 1,000 visitors who have posted or commented but haven't joined. By the way, yeah, Siberian elm. Yeah, I saw that, man. Well done. Hey, I wanted to, one of these days, I'm going to send you a silky saw. I saw your trouble with your little chainsaw, your little dink chainsaw is what we call it down here in the South. And man, I wanted to gift that to you. I've got an extra silky saw. I don't know if you're familiar with the brand, but check this out. Silky is a wonderful brand. I'm going to go to Tree Stuffs because they're easy to access. I need to get Arb Session on here. Hand saws and tools. Hey, what's up, Nito? Glad to have you here, buddy. Thanks for joining us, man. Dig went out, but I used Herbicide on the rest. And gosh, I'm thankful I used Herbicide on the others. That video going to post soon. Cool, man. I can't wait to see it. All right, so check this out, though, Sprout. You've been great, and I'm excited for you because you're a punk kid. Like nothing personal. So am I. I'm still working on growing up myself, but these silky saws, dude, I'm telling you, that's where it's at. You can actually, so 95% of my pruning that I did over the years, I did with silky saws. And so I'm gonna send you one, man. I love that you've been here supporting the channel, supporting what we're doing, and I really appreciate that. And I'm really excited. Right on, dude. Nito the Bandito. Sorry, I've been hard at work and doing more CDL testing. Well done, man. We need more. We need more CDL drivers. The thing about it is once you get a bucket truck with a chip capacity, any sort of chip capacity, all of a sudden you're into CDL range. By the way, Sprout, this was my go-to, the Tsurugi. It's so fine. You can get really in those narrow branch unions and actually make a good cut, even though the tree did it wrong. So anyways, yeah, that was my go-to. Silky is like my favorite brand. I actually had a contractor that was like, I told him, I was like, yeah, I love these silky saws. And it had, I think I posted something on Facebook. It had like nicked my finger. and he was like, I wouldn't be caught dead cutting with a saw called Silky, like it's some feminine something or other. But man, those things are vicious. I'm telling you, dude.
I also saw a movie. It was like My Name Is Abigail. It was a John Wayne movie, and yeah, I mean, after seeing that movie, I don't mind hanging out with a guy named Abigail.
Yeah. I got some friends named like Lindsay Purcell. Lindsay, that's a lady's name. Nothing personal, bro. Love you, and I love your work.
And they got made tough.
And yeah, trees made you hard, you know. So, yeah, I got an extra Silky saw for you, Sprout. I'll hook up with you later on. It's called Silky because it's silky smooth cuts, absolutely. And dude, I don't know if you're familiar with Katana Boy. Yeah, here we go. This is the one I had. That legit replaced my chainsaw. No joke. You can make, and it's still like grunt labor. You got to put some effort into it. It's not, the wood's not getting cut for free. You know what I mean? But this was actually, I thought it would be funny to do some videos like ninja style where I come out with my big sword, and it's actually it's 700 millimeters.
You get two, please.
It's huge. It's huge. That's what she said, wasn't it? Yeah. Anyways, I used that because it was fun, and it literally replaced my chainsaw. Except, when you're removing a tree, nothing beats a nice Husky 372 or Steel 362 or 500, are pretty comparable. So you can't beat that when you're removing a tree. But for pruning, my goodness, dude, you can legit replace a chainsaw if you do it right, know what you're doing. So guys, I'm just rambling on. I'm so sorry. We got to get back into it. Here we go. Let's click on this magic button and see what kind of questions you guys had about your trees. So we're going live very soon. Can anyone identify this tree? Ooh, that looks like a birch to me. What do y'all think? Is that a birch or is that something else? Peach? Couldn't be a peach. Anybody?
No, it's made of wood.
It's made of wood. It's a tree. I can identify it as a tree effectively. I think that's fair game, right? Copy image. Let's ask the robots. I think that's a birch. Sorry, I got to go because I'm eating for a bit. I'll be back soon. Right on, dude. We'll be here till about 5:30 Central Time. So here in 45 minutes or so. So go eat quick and we'll see you in a minute, dude. Thanks. Yeah, dude. Silky saw is going to change your life for the better. Not even kidding, man. You'll make a couple cuts on that and be like, where have you been all my life? Like, true story. Okay, let's check chat. Let's check robots.
True story, man. True story.
True story, bro. True story. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm just looking this up. I think it's some sort of birch, but it could be a peach too. And if I'm wrong, I will eat my words. The thing about it is I love it because I use this app called Picture This. If y'all haven't tried the Picture This app, it's actually really good. I've been surprised at some of the accuracy, but it's this little app right here. Picture This. It's a great app, and you can use it for tree ID. But with all the invention of AI and all that really helps too. Oh no, it's a tree of heaven. Oh, I was so wrong. I'm glad I was wrong. You need to know that's a tree of heaven. Ailanthus. Ailanthus is a weed. Anonymous. I'm sorry. Ailanthus. Some Ailanthus altissima, or tree of heaven, as they call it. That must have been made up where it's originally from. That's hell is more accurate. So, all right, we're moving on. Gary is asking, not certain what kind of tree this is, but we have almost 24 limbs this size that have been chewed through almost as perfectly as a sharp saw. Any idea what might be doing this? Yes, leaf cutter. Squirrel, could be squirrel. I doubt it
Can
though.
squirrels really do that? When it's just straight, that looks like a cut. Like somebody went and cut it with a buzz. Like a
Yeah,
little
so
saw.
there's critters called leaf cutter insects, and they will actually make perfect incisions like that, where it almost looks like surgical precision. I don't think it's squirrels. I could be wrong. I'm happy to eat my words. More than yeah, twig girdler is another one. I used to think it was squirrel, but nope, a beetle. Yes, that's what. Yeah, leaf cutters or twig girdlers are the culprit here. I think that's what's going on. But here's the thing: stop guessing. Go ahead and second guess, but don't first guess. Whatever you do, reach out to them and get some confirmation. Prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. That's what all caps mean, is when you're exclaiming something, right? I think that's right. All right. Yeah, I think that's twig girdler. I think Gary's got it. All right. Great question. All right. So Craig's asking, we planted this aspen. Nito Torres post and ask an arborist. Ooh, I want to check that. I just posted a nice little video in the group. Dude, we're going to check it out here in just a minute. Yes. Oh, great point. Shark bites. Lucas. By the way, y'all, for those of you that don't know, Lucas is my right-hand man. He helps keep me organized. He's the one posting all of these timestamps. And quite frankly, he's just an awesome dude. He's just a great guy. He does marketing, essentially, is his game, and social media and otherwise. But also forgot my old question. Oh, dang it. Did I do that? Okay, hold on. We're going to go through that right now, dude. Gmail. Y'all don't look at my confidential information in here, please.
Confidential information.
Confidential information. No, we're going to do that right now, Nito. I'm so sorry, dude. I'm such a slacker when it comes to it. So here's the thing is I actually I had to let my office manager go. It's a sensitive subject, so I'm stuttering on it. But yeah, I had to let her go. She was dealing with some personal stuff, and quite frankly, we're just taking things in a different direction. And so yeah, I had to let her go, and I've just been an organizational mess these days. I'm actually working on filling that gap because we need some good people. Nito Torres, what's up, buddy? Arborist of Princeton. I didn't know you were in Milwaukee, dude. You're not gonna believe this, Nito. I am actually flying up there for a case. Where is it? Hold on, I gotta look that up. It's north of there. It's in between like Milwaukee and the Great Lakes. Juanito, what's up, buddy? That's a beautiful white oak, by the way. You got a little chlorosis, it looks like. I have a question so badly. I was helping kids with homework. LOL. It's just getting closer. The tighter I bring that. I asked the question. Here we go. So badly since I was helping the kids with homework. LOL, but I was asking what a white oak had all of leaves of all the white oak family all over the trunk and canopy. Why? Oh, that's probably a stress related issue. Are you talking about like off the branch, off the trunk tissue and all that? Ooh, I love it, dude. BCMA, are y'all seeing this? I hope y'all are seeing this. Yeah, this is a fantastic question, man. So I think what you're asking about like is like the epicormic sprouts, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're right here live, dude. Talk to me. That's a little too close. Oh, what a gorgeous tree. I love bur oaks, white oaks, anything in the white oak family. Live. What's that?
Nothing. I just said Gmail. The guys know. It's for guys. For us guys.
What's up, G?
Gangsters.
What's up, G? Why? How?
If you want to zoom out a little bit more, maybe bring it down to.
Well, let's just look at it like this because that's gonna be easier for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it formatted weird. I don't know what's going on. Look at that. I'm actually scrolling out to zoom in. That makes zero sense. You stupid Google or computer or whatever it is. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's what you're asking. I think you're asking about stress on trees. What is it? Can't. Nope. Let's look at my history. You don't want to see my history for maps? This is creepy. Don't creep on me, you guys. That's weird. Hello.
White leaves.
The oak had white leaves, bur oak leaves, and swamp oak leaves.
And the oak tree up
I
high
get it.
and low.
Okay, so I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Nito. I think what you're asking is the leaf shape and size is different. It's a white oak, it looks like. I see it as a standard white oak, Quercus alba. I could be wrong though. I don't know. Some people call that Texas white oak, but I don't really know. What I see is a I see that. Okay, so typically whenever you've got, why is it been showing up with? That's annoying. Milwaukee. I'm gonna be like right in here. So you're in Milwaukee, dude. I might actually like. Let me see. I'm staying the night in Milwaukee, and then I got to go do a tree inventory at the first week of November. That'd be super cool to come say hi to the arborist for the city of Milwaukee. That'd be super cool. We'll do like a little video and all that. But that's right. It's so my daughter's name is Eden. It's right next to Eden. Lomira is I think we're talking. It's like right in this area off of West Avenue. It's Campford's Camp something or other. I can't remember it's like a small town. But yeah, I'm actually gonna be up there like on the 7th doing a tree inventory. I'm gonna try to fly out that same night. But you know, I'm flying in on the 6th. So maybe we can swing by and see you guys because I think that'd be super cool. But anyways, we got a big fire damage deal. It's a big litigation thing, so I got to be there in person. But anyways, man, I think what's going on, Nito, is you've got. You say they're different types of trees. They're not. What's happening is the tree is adapting its leaf style to fit whatever it needs. So trees are very adaptive in nature. And I see what you're talking about. That to me looks more bur oaky. That to me looks more like swamp white oak. That looks like a regular standard white oak. Yeah, we are too, actually. It's raining like crazy. So if I lose connection, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to call it for the night. And you're not getting your questions answered. But I love that we're doing this, man. Juanito. Yeah, so I don't know if you can on the 6th of November, coming up here in a couple weeks. I'd love to swing by and maybe that's hilarious. Sorry, I'm getting text messages. Yeah, I'd love to swing by and meet the city of Milwaukee and the arborist thereof and just say hi, man. So I don't know if that's an option for you guys, but I'll be flying in on the 6th. I think I get there at like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. So anyways, yeah, that'd be fantastic, dude. I'd love to meet you guys and the team from Milwaukee Parks and Rec and all that, or urban forestry or whatever y'all call it up there, up in the great north. So that'd be super cool. And is the oak confused on what to grow? Yes. So what that is essentially the tree's just adapting based on what it needs. It's not a problem. It's perfectly normal. But what I'm thinking is you probably got some maybe hormone disruption. So that could be like an herbicide issue. It looks like a parkway tree. So maybe you've got some homeowners throwing some weed and feed type stuff down. It's at night. So you do have like maybe some foliar fungus here. It looks like. Not a big deal. I don't see anything wrong with it. What I would do is maybe definitely check the root flares and make sure you've got no issues there. I do see some like almost interveinal necrosis, chlorosis, I should say. Yeah, it's a public tree. Okay. Yeah. No, thanks for the clarification there, dude. I see a stress tree. I don't see like trees gone. It's multiple different trees in one. Although you can graft them, and they do that a lot with like fruit trees. You'll see like fastgrowingtrees.com. You'll see they'll like splice all these different fruit trees onto one. They'll graft them, and you'll get all these crazy growth. And that's actually fine. I'm not opposed to that. It's kind of like genetic manipulation at its finest. You got some sort of chewing insect and sucking insect here, chewing insect here. But again, that's all minor. That's foliar in nature. I'm assuming that was probably, when was that? You sent that September. So the tree's probably defoliating now. It's probably going into dormancy, or at least close, being way up north there. By the way, I gotta bring my big jacket because I think y'all are gonna be a lot closer than it is here in Houston. I was upping sanitation since here had a flood at the time, and I was like, WTF is going on here? Yeah, I don't think that's a big thing. I think you got a stress tree. Urban stress trees are very, 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 very normal. So I'm okay with a little bit of stress because especially live oaks, white oaks, things like that are going to be able to handle that kind of abuse, essentially, is what it is, very well. So anyways, dude, I'm really sorry, man. But hey, this was great. We got an opportunity to hold me accountable and take care of these things right now. So I really appreciate that question, man. Well, let's move on. And like I said, I'll send you an email back here once we get off the live stream and let you know what my flight times are and all that. I'd love to go grab dinner with you guys, man. If you want to, you and maybe the team for the Milwaukee Arborist, whatever y'all call it, urban forestry or parks and rec or whatever, up here hold most of their leaves mostly till March. No kidding. I did not realize that. So they do the same here. That, what is it? Marcescence, I think is the word. MARC essence. So don't get me lying. But the essentially that's when you have like a deciduous tree that winds up not being deciduous. So like a good example is water oaks here in Houston. They'll actually hold their leaves till the same thing, March, somewhere in there. So anyways, yeah, I hope that helps, bro. Let me know if the 6th works for you guys. I'd love to, like I said, I'd love to meet you and the team with the Milwaukee Arborist team and just talk shop, go grab a drink or dinner or whatever and hang out for a bit. But I'll be up in the area for just very shortly. It's a ninja run, I call it, as I go up there, take my measurements and fly back, and I'm gone. I come back to my family. Typically, I write the report on the flight home, by the way. So I got 2 hours and a lot of AI to use. So hopefully that we'll get that done. But all right, Craig's asking, we planted this aspen in the spring. It was doing great all summer. Now we have this on the leaves. Anyone know what disease this is and how to treat it? We're in southern Utah at 5,600 foot elevation. Man, I bet that's nice. Okay, so I actually don't think you've got a problem here. Let me see southern Utah. Where are we at? Yeah, so that looks like a red bud, if I remember. Yeah, red bud, aspen, you said. Okay, so aspen is going to be defoliating. That's perfectly normal. October, November timeframe. I actually think you're okay, Craig. I don't think you have to worry about that. I think you've got a tree that is defoliating right now. All of those resources are getting pushed down into the root system and into the trunk tissue. But I want to make this very clear. You've got an issue with the actual grounds that it's planted in. So I see a really pretty yard. You probably have a weed and feed type program going on. And I see some nasty. I see that, Nito. That's funny. I'll get to that here in a second. Those rocks are just the worst thing. Yeah, right on, dude. Enjoy your dinner.
I was told that it's called blackwood mulch or something.
Blackwood. Is it like charcoal?
Yeah, there's rocks.
Is that charcoal? Lucas, is that charcoal?
It might be. I was told one time when I was criticizing somebody's rock landscaping, they said it was black mulch.
Yeah, but black mulch is not better. No, petroleum products are bad for trees, okay? Okay, either way, Craig, I think you've got an issue here with the mulch. I would definitely replace that with a good organic mulch. You're in southern Utah, so y'all got forests all around. You got big trees out there, 5,600 foot elevation. You probably got some tree companies or landscapers in the area that are generating some mulch. They've got to dump it somewhere. So if somebody's producing some mulch for you guys, get that and replace everything around that with that mulch. So I think that'll be extremely beneficial for you. But I think we're in October. You've got an aspen that will lose all its leaves in the winter. So go ahead and let them rake up the leaves because it does look like maybe some foliar fungus here. but I really don't see that as a big deal. What I do want to know is, what does the base look like? What does the base of the tree look like right at the ground level? I want to make sure that you planted it right. And I'm going to go ahead and leave you this as well. This is one of our, unfortunately, it's not popular, but it's one of our more popular. That's funny. Y'all are cracking me up on the actual chat. So we just posted this one. It has 0 views. That's cool. Thank you, YouTube algorithms. You jerks. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but I promise I'm not a negligent person. I owe like $20, and I'm just not doing AdWords right now because I don't need to, and so I haven't paid it. So if y'all think I'm just some like flake or whatever, that's what's going on there. Craig, here's what's here's a good video you can watch. What I would do is do this radial trenching and see if that helps. But that's going to help get the tree established. You've got a baby tree that was planted less than a year ago, and so it's going to spend the next 2 or 3, 5 years getting established. So that radial trenching is going to drastically help it. All right, so this is so funny. So we call ours here in Houston urban forestry as well. He's in Milwaukee. He's an arborist trainee is what I guess your title is or whatever. But if you do not get to visit or talk to forestry department, I'm based out of North Forestry District. So yeah, Nito, we'll connect and see but what's really funny to me here is your comment here about, and the arborists for the city are just arrogant besides management. So that cracks me up. I know a lot of tree guys for cities and urban forestry guys. I know at least 90% of my industry I would not trust with my personal trees. So y'all just take that with a grain of salt. A certified arborist is better than a non-certified arborist, but don't trust every certified arborist. Just because they got the degree, the title, doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. I promise you, it gets so nasty. Anyways. Hello from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Just received a 2-foot Yates persimmon tree. Whip. That's a sapling. Is another word for that. The taproot has a J hook from growing in a container and hitting the bottom. Should I plant it as is, or do you have any other recommendations that will help me grow a successful tree? Thank you. Great question, Walter. I love this. I'm going to do this because this is really important. I'm going to go full screen mode. So what you want. And obviously, you got a situation where the taproot comes down and kind of does a J hook over. So here's what you got. You've got a root ball. That's bad drawing. I'm going to do an overhead view. What you want is essentially all of the roots radiating away from the trunk tissue. That's very, very, very important because otherwise, if they start wrapping around the tree, they can actually cause serious problems where that can kill or unalive, Facebook algorithms, that can unalive whatever portion that is. So I think you're doing it right, Walter. Who is that? Walter? No, what's your name? I'm sorry. Yeah, Walter. What's up, buddy? I think you're right to question this, and especially early on when it's not a big deal. What you want to do is start to tease everything out. You want to pull all the roots down and spread them out as evenly as you can. It's not manufactured metal, so don't worry about perfection, but get it as best as you can. However, here's the thing. That taproot is not a permanent solution for the tree. It's okay. You can actually plant that and start spreading it, radiating. Same thing, radiating as much away from the trunk as you can. The tree in its new planting environment has the genetic potential to adapt and overcome these challenges. What you don't want to do is have roots that start growing out and wrap around there, because that will girdle the tree and it can unalive it very, very quickly. But it usually takes, I don't know, a decade, 5, 10, 15, 20 years before you really see the results there. So fantastic question, Walter. I love that. I think you're going in the right direction. Hub and spokes. Think of a bicycle wheel. That's what your tree.
A bunch of girdling roots that you what it would kind of look like.
What's that?
I said the next. Anonymous has a bunch of girdling roots, so you can use that as an example.
Brilliant.
Visually.
Oh, Walter, keep watching, bro. Keep watching. Okay, so Walter, here's what the end result is yes, it's so bad. Yes, it is.
You can
I'm
flip it
not.
over on the YouTube because it just shows you talking, unless you just did that.
What's that? Oh, shoot. Thank you. Thanks, Lucas. Okay, yeah. So, Walter, here's a perfect example of what will happen if you do not set the roots up for success right now when you're planting the tree. This, oh, you're in Houston too. What's up, buddy? What's up, Anonymous? Y'all didn't see that. Anonymous, whoever you are. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I've always wondered what's wrong with this tree. And finally, a yard guy. Wow. A yard guy. You guys see that? A yard guy called it out right before all the professional tree guys did. Told me it's called girdling. Yeah, the yard guy's right. It's so bad. Yes, I agree. Is there anything that can be done for this tree? You can see the canopy has obviously been affected. I'm going to reach out to you personally, whoever you are. I can see that everybody else can't. And I want to keep you anonymous, but you're absolutely right. You've got a big problem. This big root needs to go. You're fortunately you're talking to the right person because girdling roots are a pet peeve of mine, and they're also one of my specialties. So
I got a quick question for you on that.
What's
up,
Lucas?
That girdling happened because it looks like it was a bunch of consistent volcano mounds on it, so it was trying to find a way to breathe.
Yes, that girdling. Okay, so to that point, that girdling root, it did not. It didn't. You didn't do it. Whoever planted that probably didn't even do that. Although they probably planted it wrong. If I know Houston Tree Care, just saying, that's not your fault. First of all, anonymous. I know who you are. I'm going to reach out to you and send you a message later, but that's not your fault. But the yard guy, surprisingly, to my just complete shock and utter amazement, is right. You've got girdling roots like a mother. Holy free holies, this may be the new poster child for the condition. I'm also wondering how compacted your soil is. Get such a massive roots and on and above the surface, or are you in the swamps with a very high water table? Yes, probably partially that. Yeah, you've got a big old problem. Big old problem. I'll tag you in that later. We've got to work on that. Fortunately, I'm actually in Houston, so I can either help guide you along, or we can actually do the work ourselves too. And let me show you one just for kicks and giggles. Let me see if I can find it. Photos. Check it out, y'all. All right, we're gonna go to videos because that's way back in the good old days, back in a year ago ish. Where we at? This is not that bad, but just an example. So you see here, you've got some more girdling roots. You've got, it's going to take forever to load. What is wrong with that? Hold on, you guys. I got to show you this because this is crazy. This is like actually worse than yours. So don't worry, Anonymous. We can help. It's not, all is not lost as of yet. Maybe later, but not yet. And like I said, I'm here in Houston. If we can help, I would love to. It was before that. For that. It's amazing. Time flies when you're having fun and taking care of trees. That's it. That's the one. Check this out, you guys. This is nuts. Sorry that took so long, but it was. I hope you waited. I hope you haven't left me yet. Okay, so worth it. So that's me. Uh, not very often, but it happens. This is called an air spade. We do this. This is actually your neighbor here in Houston, too, by the way, Anonymous. That's just one example. By the way, almost as bad as yours, but you're catching yours a lot earlier. So that's a very good thing. This is what needs to happen, by the way. This exact procedure. We need to bring in the air spade. By the way, I make my own. I'm seriously considering patenting it, but I don't know. I don't like legalities, honestly. I do expert witness, but I don't like legalities. So you can see the air spade just destroys the dirt, gets it out of there, exposes all the roots without damaging them. What's that? Anyways, all that to say, all hope is not lost, Anonymous. I think we can help you out. By the way, I'm in Houston. I'm gonna reach out to you personally, and we'll talk. Also, stop pruning right now. That is a stressed tree, and we got to do some things before you're allowed to prune. Not person. I know it's your tree. You can do whatever you want with it, but like, just please wait. Please wait. All right. I live in the Pacific Northwest and just noticed this horrendous split in my beautiful, huge maple in my backyard. Looks like a sugar maple to me. Red maple, maybe. I would strongly advise removal and replacement. I don't think it's there yet. Star, don't listen to that. Can anything be done to save this tree? Norway, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, Norway maple.
Next up, turn SEO out. Welcome back. I want to show you how we keep track of customer.
Oops. Whoa. There you go. Yeah, I think Kevin's got it. Cabling, bracing, possibly a threaded rod, possibly some weight reduction. Wood rod, Arborist as wood rods, basically based on the size of your tree, expect to pay less than $1,000 for that service. Yeah, that's about accurate. Maybe significantly less based on your region. Now that you understand the procedure and cost of remedy, it may help you in your decision-making process. Kevin, well done, dude. That's actually spot on. Yeah, it'd be right around 800, 1,000, depending on who you hire and where they are and all that. That's going to vary greatly geographically, but like I said, we can always hop on a on a digital arborist consultation and see what we can do to figure out like a good game plan, and you can have somebody else implement that. So moving on, Kind Kale. What's up, Kind Kale? It's not your name, silly. My green giant trees, that's arborvitae, appear to be dying. Unaliving. I'm sorry, Facebook. From the inside out, I don't see any insects. They're all large and have been growing fine for 3 years. I have 32 trees. How can I save them? Thuja occidentalis typically has needle dieback in the interior as the outer foliage shades the inner. That is, dude, at Tim. DeHillen. Sorry, Tim. Not personal. It's just business. I really hate Meta. Forget you, Zuckerberg. It's the worst. Whatever. What just happened? Kind Kale. Yes. Sprout. Here's the funny thing about those green giants per se. Arborvitae, Thuja occidentalis. Arborvitae is the next closest accurate term. I've heard them called northern white cedars, eastern white cedars. They're actually not a cedar at all. So that's a false cedar, if you will. So yeah, but I've heard them called all kinds of things. That's the irony of it. And this is why, as professionals, we usually refer to trees as their nomenclature, as their scientific term, if you will. And as homeowners, we just deal with you geographically. So you may know it as an arborvitae, green giant, what's the other word for it? Well, we've got eastern white cedar and northern white cedar, depending on where you're at. In fact, Canadian authorities, I'm working on a Canadian case regarding Thuja occidentalis. Canadian authorities call it an eastern white cedar. I think that's ridiculous. It's not a cedar. It's a false cedar. It's like calling a boy girl and a girl boy, but we won't get into that, you guys. All right, we're moving on. Hope that helps. We really need pictures. That's actually perfectly normal to lose interior foliage as the tree doesn't need it anymore. All right, Leah's asking, what is wrong with my quaking aspen? Well, first of all, it's quaking aspen. But sorry. I'm sorry, Leah. I'm sorry. You got a great tree. Quaking aspen is, from what my understanding, is actually the largest organism on the planet, believe it or not, by sheer volume, sheer mass. But the reason for that is because of those lovely root suckers. I think it's actually in Colorado. So what'll happen is you got a tree, and then you got roots here, and that root will sprout another tree, and that'll grow. And then over here, now you got that other tree, and it'll sprout another tree over here. And it just keeps going and keeps going. So it's something like 27 acres, if I remember. Largest quaking aspen size. That's not Texas. But pandoclone, yeah, that's right. It's the pandoclone in Utah. Okay. Single organism made of over 40,000 genetically identical stems connected by a massive root system. Covers, I was way off, Leah. It covers 106 acres. 106 acres. Such a cool tree. Like, who does that? People can't do that. We don't like, just out of my leg, I don't produce another human or my arm or whatever. So yeah, trees are so cool. Okay, so what's wrong with it? We're in Colorado 5B. Half the tree is unalived. Unlike leaves, the other half looks green. Has green leaves, sparse green leaves in the summer, but seemed okay once it looked like it was oozing on the main trunk. But Google led me to believe it was normal. Don't believe Google because it's a robot. Google's not a person, y'all. It has no personality. Google is an entity. They have Gemini, which is a AI. It's a robot, but it's just regurgitating information. It's not a person. Still, it doesn't have cognitive thought like you and I do. I water daily in the heat of summer and intermittently on cooler days. What is the best shade for this? Okay, stop raining. Yeah, stop watering.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe too much water.
Yeah, I think you got a watering issue. Let me show you a video I did. This is one you got to stop watering daily. That I get that all the time. It's like, I don't know what was wrong. My tree was struggling, so I just started watering it every day. That's driving the nail in the coffin, y'all. Don't ever do that. Don't ever. I can't think of a single reason why a tree needs to be watered every single day. Like, not a single one. I do not know of any, even brand new trees you put in the ground. That can be detrimental to them. You can suffocate the roots. You can drown them. And that's very, very bad, especially in a clay soil. You do not want to do that ever. Leah, please stop watering. You're nothing personal. You're causing the problem. I think that bleeding wound canker that you're talking about is probably something like a water mold pathogen. And that could definitely be a tree unaliver, if you will. So you got to stop watering. Yeah, don't ever water daily, you guys. The other thing too, I'm looking at this, Leah, and you've clearly got the root flares are buried. So you've got to stop that too. You got to get the roots exposed. Oh no. Hold on.
You might want to tell them about how to check to see if your water's you've overwatered with a screwdriver test. That way they understand, because they probably don't understand how to gauge the.
See, that's the thing. Soil has to dry out. Lucas got a great point. So soil has to dry out, Leah. And here's your check. Here's your test. This is the test I want you to do. I want you to set that irrigation system on like 1 day a week, believe it or not. But you may be watering 10 minutes a day. No, we're high altitude desert. It would likely be too dry than too wet. No, it's not. And stop guessing either. Don't do this where you're like, well, we live in the high desert, so, and what they prefer. Ronald is spot on. What the frick is wrong with this? Oh, Leah? Why can I not reply to people? Whatever. Don't care. Yeah, I think you're watering too much. I think you've got to stop watering. I think you need to check and recheck to see if you are watering too much. And it looks like a younger tree, believe it or not. That is what we would call a young tree. Those quaking aspen, like I said, they're used to the high desert. They're not used to water every day. Don't water them every day. Okay, so fun story, y'all. Not fun. It's a problem I'm dealing with right now. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it, but where are we at? Let's see. Freaking landscapers, y'all. Freaking landscapers. So that's my baby girl. This is some more air spade work we were doing for the all that are paying attention. This was right around about a 250-year-old live oak, Geniana. Lucas, I need those drone footage videos too on that job too, if you can.
I think they're uploaded on there.
Did you? Can you send me the link?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's.
But yeah, they should be uploaded. I uploaded all those videos years
Okay.
ago.
Freaking landscapers are why I have a job, y'all. I love you guys because you are a necessary part of this industry. I didn't say that. I didn't call you evil. Let me see if I can find it. It's just super slow right now, y'all. Thanks for being patient with me. I just saw this video. Sorry, guys, I'm not seeing it.
You're looking for the area drones, right?
No, I was looking for that one at Arcola. I did a video and I was like, these friggin' landscapers. They were driving me nuts because they were watering every day. They were watering like 4 times a day. And here's the thing. Because I had to explain this to them. I was like, they're like, well, how often should we water? And I was like, well, like stop watering. And they're like, completely? Here's a picture. That's close enough. This is what we're contending with. These trees are front and center. They define the neighborhood. They like absolutely define the neighborhood. And so what they're doing, this is a big development project. They've got 3,000 some odd homes that are being built here. That's true. Suburbia is where they bulldoze the streets and trees and name the streets after them. So these trees are not unalived yet. Believe it or not, they still have life in them. Watering 4 times a week. They're watering 4 times a week. I told them no more than 2 at the very max. Realistically, stop watering. You got plenty of mulch there. You do not need to water. And the lady was like, well, okay, what frequency? And I said, well, here's the thing is those trees have lived for 200 to 400 years and they never had water. Why would you go and change that real quick on them? Like, have you guys ever gone from like not taking a bath to like taking a 24-hour bath? Your skin's going to literally fall off. The trees can't handle it. The roots cannot handle that. You can't do that. They're drowning the trees. And so, Leah, I think that's what is going on here. I think you got way too much water. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. You've got a beautiful little quaking aspen or some sort of aspen. Yeah, quaking. That's actually that tree has the potential to be the largest tree on the planet. We have proof of that. It's our best shade tree for the kids. I'm going to cut this whole side off, or is there something I do? Yeah, you gotta remove that. But first, do the scratch test. Scratch test. I said scratch because I just missed the S. It didn't pull it up anyways. Robots aren't perfect yet, nor will they ever be. Yeah, so I think you got a whole host of things going on here, Leah. Stop watering. Just stop. Just stop it. They're used to the high desert. Let them live in peace. All right. I'm currently a PhD tech in Georgia. Wanted to know if there's anyone here has taken the general and category 24 pesticide applicated test in Georgia. And if so, what were your study resources and how hard was it? Christopher, I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I don't know how y'all work. I will tell you this, the TDA exam, the Texas Department of Agriculture for structural pest control, one of the easiest tests I've ever taken, and they let us do it open book. So don't worry about it, man. Study the book. Often you can reach out to the extension guys and find out what they have to say about it. But yeah, that's really going to be your go-to resource is those extension guys, county extensions. They are, yeah, they're they'd love to help you out, but I really can't. I don't know Georgia. What I do know is the Georgia Arborist Association. Beautiful organization. Those guys rock, and they actually help drive a lot of change in our industry. I love Georgia Arborists, plain and simple. I know y'all are a little different than us. We're Texan, y'all ain't. But that's my thoughts. Okay, we're moving on. Haley's asking, I had to have this tree removed as large branches were falling off onto our chicken coop. When branches fell, they were brittle and broken into tons of pieces easily, like it was rotten. What unalived my tree? Brown rot fungus. Brown rot. It could be, I mean, I say that. It could be like 10,000 things. But what I do see is that's a brown rot type fungus. And then you had colonizers. You had ants and things like that came in and chewed holes and made their home in there. So, Lucas, how are we looking on time? Are we covering it all, or are we just slacking like crazy? Oh, okay, we're okay. I gotta go here in a minute anyway, so we're gonna have to call it soon. I do see, Haley, I see girdling roots. Girdling roots are probably going to be the number one problem that tree encountered. The pathogens, the tree has the immune system to fight it off. I'm not really worried about that. It looks like you had a ligustrum. Is that a cherry laurel? Cherry laurel. I think cherry laurel. But that might not be the actual tree itself, too. That might be a neighboring tree. So yeah, you've got living tissue here. Let me show you here. If you could see the, so all this is living. Now you did have something going on here, but all of this is living tissue. And then you get to this one section. And if you notice the discoloration, Haley, oh, great question. I'll get to that here in just a second, Sprout. Hold on 1 second. And then we're going to call it after that because we're going slow and we've got family obligations tonight. Yeah, so I think that was a girdling root, a handful of other problems, and yeah, you had some brown rot fungus come in there and consume the interior. That could be like termites or ants too. Okay, sorry, dude. I have a box elder. Sprout's asking, I remember this. I have a box elder next to my ash in my grade school, and I want to remove one of its trunks because it is right next to the ash. It's still young. Is that okay? Probably. What I might do, Sprout, and I'm not looking at pictures. I don't know realistically what's going on there exactly, but what you probably can do is reduce the canopy height by like half, especially on a box elder, especially on something you're going to remove entirely, and especially on a young tree. So I would remove like half of it and then make the final cut next year. So if you can wait, if you can't, it's probably okay. Realistically, they're probably sharing a little bit of root system, but those are going to act like two separate trees. So you're probably okay removing the whole thing. But if you want to get really fancy about it, reduce the height of one. That's actually going to allow the other one to catch up and fill in the gaps and strengthen where it needs to strengthen, so it's not a structural risk. So that's really important. All right, we are moving on. Does that answer your question, dude? Matt, I'm not worried about that, bro. Yeah. Here's the thing. There's X current and D current. Yeah, so live oaks grow in a manner we call it decurrent. Yeah, and especially if you've got a really solid remaining trunk, that's way better. Reduce it back, let the other one catch up, fill in, and you should be good, Sprout. All right, so Matt is asking, need help? I got a live oak that it's don't be offended. That's a decurrent growth pattern. Here's the thing though, Matt, you got to replace it with mulch. Rocks. That's a PSA, by the way. Public service announcement. Nothing dirty. Don't get weird. Y'all ever seen that show, People of Earth? It was only on, I think it was Conan O'Brien's brand, Conoco or whatever. That's fun. I like that, Nancy. That's a cute. Trees are masters of architecture. I kind of like that. That's fun. Yeah. People of Earth, don't get weird. That's my wife and I's like favorite thing to say to each other. Yeah. So Matt, you've got a live oak. Live oaks are decurrent in nature. They do not have a strong central stem. So for y'all that have been paying attention for a while, the thing is if there were such a thing as a perfect tree, it would look like basically one primary lead and then everything branching subordinately off of that. So you've got all these branches, and then you've got one primary dominant lead. That is a quote unquote perfect tree, but that's also not factoring in decurrent growth patterns. Every tree is going to be genetically predisposed to either do that or do something like this, where it doesn't really matter. And you'll get all these crazy growth off of that. And believe it or not, decurrent growth is a very real thing. So the tree, as it's growing, it's going to adapt to the movement of wind and the elements and rain and gravity pulling it down and things like that. And I think what you're experiencing, Matt, by the way, great name. I respectfully agree with your name. It's totally normal for live oaks to do that. I'm here in the dirty south of Houston, Texas, and like we have a ton of live oaks, and they all do that. Totally normal. It looks like you're maybe in Arizona or something like that. I don't know, but you got a lot of stucco out there. Live oaks are actually well adapted to both swamp environments and desert type environments. What's that?
No, that's my. That's a top side.
Oh, you got me. Okay, so the only thing I'll say beyond that is you've got a really poorly planted tree. You need mulch. Very important, Matt. You got to put mulch down. Mulching is going to be so much better. I put that landscaping myth busted. Public service announcement. Rocks are not mulch. Go to the forest. You see rocks in the forest occasionally, but that's not the ground cover. The ground cover is mulch. Dead sticks, unalived sticks and debris and twigs and broken up mulch, things like that. That's what makes up the forest floor. What you've done is you've artificially recreated a different environment that's going to superheat those roots and could potentially burn them. So you want to get rid of that. The other thing too, let's see if I can find it. You're going to want to put down, do some radial trenching because it looks like the tree was planted very poorly. And I don't know that, but I highly suspect it just based on what I'm seeing with the leaves and all that. The other thing too, it looks like you've got a real nice, clean landscaping bed. Even weeds will grow in that nice, clean landscaping bed. So what I see with the leaves, it almost looks like you've got some herbicide damage. So if you're doing any type of Roundup, anything like that, stop. Just stop it. Pull them out by hand or use straight vinegar and burn the daylights out of them. Looks like you got a hot environment anyways. But yeah, the growth pattern, not a huge fan of that. But with a live oak, man, they can definitely handle some weird growth patterns there. So, and I think let's do this last one, and we're gonna call it for the night, you guys, because I gotta get on the road. What? Recommendations for how to support the split trunk. Don't leave it alone. Stop overwatering it. You got an overwatering situation there, pal. Let's see if did I do one on Phytophthora? I thought I did some videos on Phytophthora, Lucas. Oh yeah. I need to do some more. Remind me of that. Phytophthora is like everybody talks about oak wilt. Everybody talks about fusarium wilt, verticillium wilt, cotton root rot, things like that. I see Phytophthora in way more cases than all of those combined. Could be wrong. That maybe just because of the region that we're in. But I think you got a water mold fungus or something going on here that is causing fungal pathogens to infiltrate and take advantage of your tree. Sorry, that's what they do. That's so funny. Yeah, so going back to Matt's question about we were talking about herbicide. You know, I get this so many times. Like, okay, have you guys used any herbicide? The answer is almost invariably no. So, but Sprout makes a really good point. So, seeing how he unalived a Siberian elm with herbicide tells me the herbicide in the lawn with trees is not good. And absolutely, most of them. There's really two primary types of herbicide. There's systemic herbicides, and then there's what we call contact herbicides. Contact kills on impact, or unalives on impact. Excuse me. The systemic is going to act more vascularly and disrupt hormones, disrupt nutrient transport, things like that. Both of them are very bad. One of them acts a little bit quicker, mostly if it just hits the leaves. But I ask that question to my clients all the time. Have you used any herbicide? Oh, no, we're good. We keep it all clean in here. And then I say, well, great. Have you used like any type of weed and feed? Oh, yeah, we do that religiously. Every 3 months or whatever, we use weed and feed. Well, that's herbicide, dude. Read the label, man. That's herbicide. That's what that is. It has herbicide in it. So great point, Sprout, is if you read the label, almost all of them, except for Scott's, some of the Scott's brands, because they petitioned with the EPA like a bunch of dirty Nazis, a bunch of dirty guys that they are, and gals. Bayer was a German company, by the way, way back in the day. I won't go through a history lesson with y'all, but then they came to America and now they have, triclopyr and glyphosate are basically what I know. I use triclopyr for the elms, diquat and what is it, proquat or quadruplot or something like that are great ones too. But again, broadleaf trees, broadleaf killer, unaliver, that doesn't mix very well, y'all. So stop using herbicide. And I'm sorry, we got distracted. I don't think you need to support this, Anonymous. I think what you need to do is structural pruning, structural training, and stop overwatering. You've got some sort of fungal pathogen. What's that, Lucas?
I think if we're looking at the same 3 trees, radial trenching, 2 of the trees don't have any root flares showing.
Oh, yeah, root flares. Scott's a bunch of dirty Nazis. That's what Michael just texted me. I shouldn't throw you under the bus like that, but yes, I agree. I know their history, and it's not good. Same with Bayer is another really bad one. We won't go into history lessons there, y'all, because that's a good way to wind up unalived, and I don't want that for my family. Although I have good life insurance. Anywho, so bunny trails for days, y'all. That's awesome. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Gene, we're gonna get to you here next week or this coming Thursday. Looks like you're eastern seaboard of Virginia to a little town outside of Augusta, Georgia. Augusta or Agua? I don't know Agua. But yeah, we've got, who am I calling? It shows that I'm calling somebody. Glad you're here, dude. Glad you're here, Michael. Thanks for that. It's always encouraging when you show up, man. You're a good dude, good guy, and brilliant arborist. Just credit where credit's due. I don't see why you don't get your BCMA though. I'm not gonna lie. Go do it, because why not, man? You're there. You're there. You know enough to be dangerous. But if you choose not to, that's fine too. Perfectly fine. So anyways, guys, we're going to call it for the night. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, hit us up on the web if you ever need a closer look at your trees. I run a company called Arborist on Demand, and that's who hosts this, by the way. My company's paying for my time to be here because it does cost money, believe it or not, to run the technology that we're running. And guys, we're just really excited for you guys to be here. But if you do need a closer look at your trees, I'd love to help you out. Hit us up on the web at arboristondemand.com. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the website here because, quite frankly, this company is awesome. And you guys need to know this company. We do a lot of consulting with like insurance groups, litigation attorneys, things like that. But what my favorite thing to do, you guys, is to help individuals like you just come on here and figure out your problems with your trees, because quite frankly, trees are good for people. I'm not in this to earn money and work for only insurance companies. I want to help you guys, the individuals. So spread the word. If you got a friend that needs a 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 20th opinion on their trees, or even just a first and wants to get it right from the start, that's what we do. We do digital tree consulting. We're the world's first, and to my knowledge, only digital arborist consulting firm. And essentially what we do is telemedicine for trees. We help good, smart people like you get to know your trees a little better so you can love them and enjoy them instead of having to deal with them. Because quite frankly, if you don't do it right, you're probably going to have to deal with them. So, hey, thanks again for being here, you guys. Hit us up next Thursday. We'll be live from 4 to 6. And by the way, I mentioned that Michael had sent me a text while we're talking. He is going to join us as our guest arborist. We're going to talk about some things relevant to your trees, pertaining to how to best ask questions to get the answers you need. And correct me if I'm wrong on that, Michael. I'm sorry. I got a lot going on in my brain right now, but he'll be here and we're going to talk about some fun things with trees. It's always a great time when he joins us. And y'all stay salty and enjoy your trees. And like I said, if you need help with your trees, we'd love to help you out. arboristonDemand.com. We'll see you guys next time. Later. Yeah, you too, Sprout. Thanks again, buddy.